Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have Bend It Like Beckham. This is a 2002 film. It's an hour and 52 minutes long. It is a story, this is by the way, this is not an American film. This is a 100% English film. In fact, you might even call it somewhat of a Indian film, Punjabi film, because its writer and director is a woman named Gurinder Chadha. According to IMDb, I thought I saw it in a different order somewhere else, but I'm not sure. This is a very female-centric film. This is the main characters are women, young women who both love soccer, but come from families that are pretty different in how they handle, but also there's a lot of similarities too, in how they handle their daughter's love of soccer. And some of it's very intense, some of it's funny, but it works out to be a really fun film. I did not expect to enjoy the film as much as I did, but yeah, hey, this is 2002, by the way. This is a year from Keira Knightley joining the cast of the release of Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl as Emma Swan. Emma Swan. That's from something else. Oh God, I think I just mentioned Once Upon a Time. Sorry. Okay, I'm tired. Emma Swan, seriously? Anyway, she believe it or not, Keira Knightley is not the main character of the film. She's the most famous one at the time of this release, but the main character is Parminder Nagra, who plays Jess, or Jasminder is her full name. She comes from a Sikh family, and she's kind of tomboyish. She has no interest in chasing down boys and getting married and going to college and doing all the things that is expected of her in that moment. She plays really well. She plays with the boys and can kick their butts easily. And yes, I'm going to keep saying soccer through this, just so you know. I'm American, if you can't tell. And if I will put on an English accent, but you will regret it immediately, probably. Because when I try to do it, it's awful. When I don't try to do it, it's passable. So, yeah. So, like I said, this is very much a British film. At times, you may need a translator. You may need to put in the subtitles, because everybody is speaking not for American audiences. They're not speaking for, between the Indian accents and the British accents, Americans, you'll get the gist of it. You're not going to miss the point of a scene interaction with people, but there's certain terms that you have never heard in many cases as an American. If you do not watch British film, comedies, or dramas, either way. I've watched enough Doctor Who that I get mostly all, and Monty Python, and and everything else in between. I watch enough British films and television to understand what's going on without having the subtitles. That your mileage may vary. So what we get here is Jess. She is seen by Jules, played by Keira Knightley. Jules sees her playing in the park with the boys and doing really well, and she recruits her to join this all-girls team, which Jess is like, really, there's one of those things, really? You get a all-girls team that I can play with? And yeah, then there's the fact that, oh, you know what? We're so good that we could be scouted to play professionally in America. That's a thing that could happen. So it really perks up Jess's ears. Jess, by the way, her room is just covered with pictures of David Beckham. If you don't know who David Beckham is, well, you watch more American football than British or international football, soccer. David Beckham is at this time, especially in 2002, is the biggest soccer player in the world. Married to Posh Spice, and yes, there's at least one Spice Girls joke in this, and it doesn't have to do with Posh Spice. So, I won't tell you what it is. I'm not going to spoil everything either. I'm not going to tell you how this whole thing ends or what happens, but there are a few different conflicts. It doesn't pass the Bechdel test 100%, so because there is a man in this, and that man does cause a little bit of problem. So it's not 100% Bechdel test approved, but it is very much just about the girls. And these two on a team of other women, and to be honest, it's you can tell that it's one directed and co-written by a woman, because it doesn't have that kind of male gaze to it, but it doesn't shy away from the fact that these are women, young women. And yes, I did the math, and in this, I mean, she looks super young in this. Keira Knightley is probably 17 and at best 18 in this film. So I'm going to be very careful about how I discuss things, because honestly, this movie really loves to talk about boobs. And if a man had been writing and directing this, it could have come off really badly. It could have, it could have come off really badly. In fact, the women talk about boobs more often than the men. There's a few men who do make some commentary, as men who are immature do. In this, there's situations where one mom wants to, hide her daughter's figure, or hide her daughter's body, because they're kind of conservative. They're Sikh and they're conservative. They don't show off everything. And there's Jules's mom, Keira Knightley's mom, who is like, you know what, you should really push those up and show some curves and get some boys interested in you. Both of the mothers of each of the families are really important to this story, because they really want their daughters to follow along certain pathways, certain ways that daughters are expected to act. Whether it's Indian and Sikh culture, or it's just London culture, and just find that boy. And before you ask, are they going to be gay? No, but there's an element in this that is played off as comedy, so you'll get a piece of that. I don't want to ruin it. It's just there's some misunderstandings, and honestly, this feels like this could have been. There's a lot packed into this film. It's less than 2 hours, but there's a lot packed into this film. I think, honestly, if it had not been made into a film, it would have made a great, 8-episode series on the BBC that would have just flowed really nicely, and you could have really delved into some of the characters a little bit more than just packing it into an almost 2-hour span. And because I think there's a lot more to be told with the, I guess there doesn't need to be more told, but with the sister of Jess's sister, who's getting married, and everything she does is sort of set against that, and also it kind of comes into conflict with everything she wants to do. So, and there's an actual full-on drama that is going on with Jess's sister and her wedding plans and everything else, and some also more misunderstandings. Again, that's the comedy part. It's there's a lot of misunderstandings throughout this between the parents and the kids and everything else. So there's a lot of assumptions made, and people have to be set straight. And of course, the main thing comes down to, are the parents going to be supportive of the kids no matter what is going to happen? And the kids, will they obey their parents when they believe they know what's best for their daughters? And that is the eternal struggle with a coming-of-age story, when you got kids that are just teenagers, practically just out of high school. Their high school runs differently than American high school ages, and going to university and things like that, college for us, but we get a lot going on in this film. There's a lot of sports action in this, a lot of good soccer playing. We get some romantic entanglements and drama in that. We get a lot of parent-child struggles, and it's highly identifiable to just about any teenager, or specifically teenage girl. And so it's got plenty of comedy. It's got a little bit of drama, got a little bit of action with the, soccer and everything else. And, it's also the thing where, are you going to make a choice to be what your parents require you to be? Or will you be trusted to choose what's right for yourself? And again, that all comes down to different cultures. And again, none of this is American. So we look at things differently. And it comes down to, again, the Indian culture, Sikh culture, the English culture, and everything else that goes on with that. So yeah, don't make too many assumptions about if you're American watching this. But I think everybody's pretty much great in this, and it's you also get an Indian wedding. You also get people and they don't do weddings light. They don't do weddings light. Let's just say there's a lot. We do preparation here in America, depending on different cultures and religions and everything else. But yeah, no matter what country you're in, if you got an Indian wedding happening nearby, it's not a small event. So you get a little piece of that as well. And again, it wraps itself up pretty well. It doesn't leave too many things dangling, but like I don't know if I said earlier, but it feels like this could have had a sequel. Like it could have had followed these characters after what happened at the end of this movie, and like there would have been a series in America that just tanked or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's a fun film, and I say check it out. It's the movie's it's 23 years old. It's almost 23 years old. 22, 23, yeah, 23 years old. And it's still, I think it stands up. And yeah, Keira Knightley is cute as a button. By the way, you'll probably, did I say that Parminder Nagra, who plays Jess, you'll probably recognize her from ER. She spent a number of seasons on ER. I'm not sure which ones, but I watched the show went on for so long. I remember seeing it up until around the point where I think she joined. But for the longest time, yeah, I only watched the early seasons for the most part. But yeah, we also get Jonathan Rhys Meyers. What do you? Come on, just tap his face. Yeah, he is the coach. Man, he looks severe. Like not in a horrible way, but he looks. Check out his IMDb photo. He's very severe looking. Like he was drawn a certain way. Yeah. He's intense. So yeah, it's all across the board. I think anybody can enjoy this. But yeah, you'll have to check it out yourself. I can't tell you for sure. I don't know what you're into. But it's something that you get to see. One of the fun parts is just seeing how each of the families deal with their own daughters, and the daughters deal with their families, and how it works out in the end, if it does. Yeah, there's a lot of comedy to be born out of that, as usual. So I do recommend it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. I don't think it's the kind of thing I would have just watched on my own, and I don't think it's the kind of thing that I would have just, if this hadn't happened, I would have never watched it, more than likely. If this series didn't exist. So, but I'm glad I did. Go figure. Let's pick tomorrow's episode. 192. 192 on the spreadsheet. Yes, I use a spreadsheet. For those of you who don't know, all these things, for the most part, are randomly selected. Every once in a while, I'll have something that premieres, and I want to watch that thing as it premieres, and we'll watch it there. But most of the time, everything in this list, what is left, that I haven't watched on Disney Plus, which is less than 200 things at this point, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Almost less than 200 items left. Is selected at random, and I watch whatever comes up here. And this number 192 is a documentary or docu-series, or maybe it's a reality thing. I'm not sure. It's called Street Genius. I don't know what that is. What is a street genius? Is it Matt Damon? How about them apples? You know, I don't know. I don't know what that is. Street Genius is what we're watching next on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that. Bye.